Most things in this space have a shelf life. Platforms, narratives, tools, they all degrade eventually. And after enough years of watching that happen up close, you start to build your workflow around the ones that haven't. And the category where shelf life matters the most, in my experience, is exchange infrastructure, specifically the non-custodial segment, because the failure modes there are quiet. They don't announce themselves. So that's what I've been mapping methodically over months. And today I'm walking through one platform that has consistently not done any of those things. Full walkthrough, and then the reasoning behind why the underlying model is built the way it is. And at the end, how I actually screen services in this space before committing anything to them. Before I touch the interface, the entry point for me was the security architecture, specifically the way it handles asset flow at the execution layer. There's also a card funding option built in that doesn't introduce the kind of friction you'd expect from a tacked-on feature. It feels like it was part of the original spec. All right, let's go. I'm running USDT to USDC, a mid-tier pair that demonstrates the mechanics cleanly without anything exotic getting in the way. Okay, coming to this window and configuring the exchange pair. Tether on the outgoing side, that's selected and confirmed. USDC on the receiving side, good, locked in. And right below that, the full rate summary, exchange rate, fee, and settlement estimate. Okay, moving forward. Next step, the destination address field. My USDC address goes here. There's also a refund address input, so I populate that one as a default every time, and an email notification field. Okay, filling those in now. Good, all done. Next step, this is the order summary screen, complete breakdown before anything gets finalized. Okay, I'm going through it, pair, rate, destination address, fee, all of it matches what was on the setup screen. Nothing is shifted between steps, so I'm accepting the privacy policy and hitting create order. Good, my order is live, now at waiting on my transfer. One moment. Okay, that's gone through, confirming on my end, and there it is. USDC will route automatically to my wallet from here in a few minutes, and while that's in motion, I want to use this time to actually dig into why the structure of this platform is worth explaining, because the mechanics are the whole story. Everything in this model traces back to a single design decision. The platform never takes possession of the assets. At no point in the transaction lifecycle does the service hold what's being swapped. I initiate from my wallet, the exchange executes at the chain level, and my wallet receives the output. The platform's role is entirely in the sequencing, rate resolution, routing logic, and execution timing, but that's a computational function, not a custodial one. And the reason that distinction matters is clearer when you look at what the alternative actually requires. On a centralized exchange, access to the swap function is downstream of a deposit, and a deposit is the moment custody transfers. From that point forward, the user's relationship to those assets is mediated entirely by the platform's terms. Withdrawal windows, account flags, policy changes, all of that becomes load-bearing infrastructure standing between the user and their own funds. And now I want to address something that I think gets undersold in coverage of the space, which is how pervasive the fraud problem actually is. Because working in this environment carefully and deliberately for as long as I have gives you a pretty unfiltered view of it. Fake platforms aren't a fringe phenomenon, and the more resourced ones are built with enough surface polish that a quick scan doesn't trip any obvious wires. Part of what enables the whole ecosystem of bad actors is just the signal-to-noise ratio in this space. So what actually goes into my evaluation process when I'm looking at something new? Interface coherence. And I want to be specific about what I mean by that, because it's not about aesthetics. It's about whether the product feels like it was designed by people who understood what they were building. Spacing, information hierarchy, interaction consistency, the precision of the copy. Platforms assembled with genuine intent have a fingerprint that's hard to fake. Everything is considered, nothing is approximate. Bad ones have gaps in that consistency, places where the attention ran out. Okay, last thing. Here's what I noticed somewhere around transaction 50 with this platform. I'd stopped opening a secondary tab to verify the rate against a reference exchange, not because they got lazy, because the variance had been small enough, consistently enough, over enough iterations, that the cross-check had effectively become ceremonial. And that's a tell. When a habit built out of distrust quietly atrophies, it's because the evidence has worn it down. That's the actual shape of what reliability looks like in practice. Not a feature list, not a single clean transaction on camera, but the slow accumulation of sessions where nothing required your intervention. In a space where that outcome is genuinely rare, I think the rarity is worth saying out loud. That's what this review is.